I recently recorded a video introducing a beautiful Victorian-era Steinway that I'm restoring. Well, I'm back with a progress report, wearing the same shirt for continuity. In the first video, linked above, I gave you an overview of this beautiful Steinway. I played it and I listed the attention that it's going to receive. I had hoped to have it for sale on my website by summer of 21, but we all know the lovely sound deadlines make as they fly by. What has happened since can be classified as teardown, getting the piano ready to receive any attention to the soundboard or the bridge, and also the pin block. And this particular piano is receiving attention to all three of those things. We're going to spend some quality time with my friend John Johansson of Mosaic Pianos here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, John is the go-to guy in this region for belly work. I'm not set up to do soundboard or pin block repair myself, but I'm very happy to leave this stage of the process to such capable hands. My first goal in entering Mosaic Pianos was not to get distracted by all the sights. There are usually unexpected oddities, and it's just so captivating to admire the work of a true craftsperson. There's puddles too, and coincidentally, a Steinway very much like the one that I'm restoring, only it has 85 notes, being an earlier version. But I had to stay focused because the main goal of the day was to remove the lid, tuning pins, and finally the plate of this piano. I had already removed the dampers, strings, and other odds and ends. When I arrived, John had started the process of removing the music desk rails, which are mortised and glued into the rim. It's a time-taking process, but because these little pieces of wood would block the plate from passing out of the piano, they must be carefully removed. He has some clever techniques to do this, starting with injecting hot water into the joint with a syringe.
A razor blade that's been skinned of its little top part.
Oh, yeah.
Is nice. It won't nick.
Mm-hmm.
You can just kind of run it along top side and underside.
Right.
And then a palette knife also.
Uh-huh.
See, we got
Probably also tells you where you're at.
Yeah, got some good depth there.
Yeah.
Nice little area there too.
Mm-hmm.
But really the idea is to just be removing glue and not wood.
Now that's just good television. But nonetheless, I'll move us along here. It actually took us over a half hour with both of us working on a side to remove those darn pieces of wood. Eventually, success, and John was able to move on to extracting the tuning pins.
In taking the piano apart in the rebuilding, it's good to get as many measurements as we can. But it's also really nice to have register holes so that you know that something's going to go back to where it used to be, like physically, in a way, as opposed to measuring, remeasuring, and hoping for the best. The register hole in the very far back of the plate is for front to back because we want to make sure we're keeping our speaking distances, as close as possible.
Uh-huh.
So what we've done in our next step is we've registered the height of the plate. And that's done with blocks on the V-bar and block over on this far strut. This is simple pin block material. It's got an old perimeter bolt in it. We raise the bolt all the way up until the block is snug in the key bed against the case side, and then right up to the V-bar. The same goes with this one over here on the strut. It's almost tough for me to take out. Just a simple block. And what they're going to do is they're going to help us establish the height of the plate. And everything's nice.
With me removing the perimeter bolts and John pulling out the hefty screws that anchor the plate to the pin block, we were ready to lift the plate from where it sat for many, many decades. Removing the plate grants John access to repair and rejuvenate the soundboard, which he does using epoxy rather than spruce shims. But that, dear viewer, is for another episode. If my channel has been helping you become the next level piano nerd you want to be, then please like and subscribe. And if you really want to support the content that I'm creating, you can buy me a coffee using the link in the show notes. See you next time we open the lid on another episode of Inside Pianos.